Welcome to the Personal Statement Workshop, the key to standing out in a competitive field. Today we will cover generalized strategies and tips to help you create a clear statement that helps make the best case for why you should be considered for a selective and competitive program. Before we start, some important principles to remember when drafting a personal statement. Personal statements are an art, not a science. Personal statements are an important part of the application process and should not be taken lightly. Personal statements act as a first impression to an admittance committee. It is important that it presents you in the best light. Be mindful of character limits. Personal statements always have very strict character and word limits. Understanding that there is no one way to write a personal statement, one of the simplest approaches is to treat the statement like an essay, with a hook, body, and conclusion. Tell your story. Even if you're not the primary character in the story, make sure that you convey how the story affected you. What were you feeling? What was your mindset? And how has that experience helped shape you into the person you are today? This should be the most creative portion of your personal statement. Feel free to set the scene by using descriptive language, but also make sure that you're clearly setting the stage by introducing the experiences and perspectives that make you unique from other applicants. Some good starting questions to address in your hook would be, what sparked your motivation to seek a career in this field? Or, what personal or professional experience has helped shape you into the person you are today? There is no character limit to the hook. It can be the entire first paragraph or just the opening sentence. The body should transition your statement into addressing more specific personal and professional accomplishments. The body should continue the themes introduced in your hook. For example, how did your personal story make you a more caring or empathetic person? How did your professional experience or observation of someone working in your field confirm or expand your interests? Highlight some important accomplishments that you've completed. Do not include a list of accomplishments or awards like you would in a resume. Pick one or just a few that are most representative of who you are as a candidate. For example, after completing the EMT training, by the end of the body, the reader should have a clear picture of where you see yourself fitting in the field. The hook should introduce the interest, or the characteristics that you feel make you uniquely suited for this field, and the body should help flesh that picture out. The conclusion should not just wrap everything up. It should also address your future goals and give them a picture of who you will be once you're working full-time in the field. Start the conclusion by referencing back to the hook. Whether it is a direct address to the story you opened with, or just a reflection on how you have adapted and grown, we want this to continue the narrative thread of the entire statement. Address the communities you would like to work with, or the issues you would like to address and face. Feel free to be a little inspirational in your conclusion. A common error in conclusions is applicants can tend to lean too heavily into presenting an overly confident facade, and their conclusions can come off a bit pushy. Stay rooted in your experience and write confidently, but make sure it's grounded in your experience and not in your assumed acceptance into their program. Some last-minute tips. Avoid cliches. You want your statement to capture your voice. Avoid coming off sounding like a robot or generic applicant. Stand out by using your voice and perspective in your writing. Focus on grammar and punctuation. You do not want the statement to read overly conversational, and you don't want the statement to appear unclear because of misuse of grammar and punctuation. Let family, colleagues, and friends read it, but do not allow everyone to make drastic changes to your statement, or it will end up sounding a little like everyone who read it. It can be helpful to see if the elements you wanted your statement to convey came across, but do not allow others to shake your confidence in your statement if you like it. It can be helpful to set a hard date that you would like to have your statement completed by. Finally, do not overthink it. Work hard at it, but if you feel good about it, set it down and move on.